So I always notice this. Sometimes it's really easy to be like, yeah, I'm worthy. In our conscious minds, it's like, of course I think I'm worthy. But when we dive into our non conscious, whenever we really look at and think about, what could potentially be there from childhood wounds to even just pitfalls and patterns from our human design chart, um, there can be something a little different there, right? Like when something actually arrives, like money or help or praise or an opportunity, especially if you're that fourth line, um, even like somebody wanting to take care of you more than you expected, suddenly your body gets really uncomfortable and it feels like you want to explain why you don't deserve it, or you just have this knot in your stomach that feels like, I need to work harder, or I need to give something back, or I need to make sure they don't regret giving that to me, or um, yeah, it's like you can't just receive for the sake of receiving. And it always feels like it ties back into this wound around worth, which can, what I notice with these patterns is that it's like you look behind the couch and it's like, whoop, it just evaded you and you found something else that makes sense, but it's not like that root. And you know me, I'm always going to bring in the human design behind this. And so with this one in particular, it can have different flavors, but it can feel especially tender with an undefined ego in human design. There can be all this old pressure to prove your value before you let yourself have what you want. But there can also be a pitfall when your ego is defined and you're like putting all this pressure on yourself. And that can flow into this sense of worthiness too. But like I said, I'm always noticing how sneaky it can be, because consciously, like, you believe that you're worthy and you have what it takes, but your body is still bracing whenever life hands you something to challenge that. So today, we're not going to convince ourselves that we're worthy today, but we want to notice where worth got tangled up with earning or proving or giving or deserving, and gently begin to separate them. And as always, we'll start with our karate chop. Even though part of me still believes I have to earn what I receive, I deeply honor why I've learned to live this way. Even though receiving can feel vulnerable when I haven't proven that I deserve it, I choose to meet that part of myself with compassion. And even though I've spent so much of my life proving my value, I'm willing to consider that my worth was never supposed to be something I had to prove. It's something that I maintain inherently. There's sometimes something a little uncomfortable around receiving, especially when I haven't worked hard enough for it, when I feel like I haven't done enough, or part of me wants to do more, or when I can't point exactly to why I deserve it. It's like it feels like a tightening. And I can feel the need to give something back or to make sure I've earned this. Because just receiving, it makes me feel vulnerable. Like, do I deserve it? Am I worthy of that? And there's a chance that I've learned that good things come after hard work. I've heard that my entire life, actually. And that rest comes after you've hit the point of exhaustion. That money comes after you've proved it can come. And that support comes alongside or after struggling. That I get to receive once I've been useful enough or helpful enough or good enough. Once I've finally earned my place. But I'm realizing in this moment, it makes me tired. I feel like I'm tired of proving. And I'm tired of wondering if I've done enough yet. I'm tired of the finish line always moving, because somehow enough never really arrives. there's always one more thing to do, one more reason I might not deserve it yet, or one more wound that I have to heal, or one more test before I let myself receive. And let's think about it for a second. What happens if I receive without earning it? Am I afraid of what that says about me? Will someone think I'm selfish, or will I feel like I'm selfish? Will they think I took too much? Will I owe them something? And what if they change their mind? And all this makes me wonder if part of me maybe doesn't even trust receiving. Like maybe receiving has never really completely felt safe. So that makes sense that I've learned to prove myself. Proving myself probably helped me feel safe about receiving. And maybe being useful helped me feel valued. And maybe giving helped me feel like I belonged. Or maybe working harder helped me feel worthy. So I don't feel the need to have to rip this pattern away. I'm taking this moment to understand why it's here. And then holding this part of myself gently. But wait, was my worth really created by all that effort? It feels like it's worth asking myself, did working harder make me more human? Did being useful create my value? Or maybe those things just become ways I learn to measure. Maybe I'm confusing proving worth with having worth. Maybe I've spent years earning something that was never actually withheld from me. Maybe my worth existed before the proving began. So then what if receiving isn't the reward for finally becoming worthy? What if receiving is just part of being alive? Like breathing in and breathing out. Giving and receiving. And offering. And allowing myself to be supported too. Because I know how to give. And I know how to care. I know how to hold. Maybe I'm learning something new now. How to let myself be held. So that could be like how to let something good arrive without immediately feeling the need to earn it back. Or how to receive without putting my worth on trial. How to let enough be enough. So I'm coming back to this idea and reminding myself and reminding my body. I don't need to prove myself, not in this moment or any other. I don't need to explain why I'm allowed to receive. I can notice the urge to earn it and lovingly recognize that old pattern and say thank you for trying to keep me safe again. But my worth doesn't need your protection anymore. It's safe for me to let something good reach me. And I am willing to receive. Take a big deep breath in and let yourself breathe it all the way out. And it feels kind of good to place a hand over your heart and thinking about something you've had difficulty letting yourself receive lately. money, help, love, rest, recognition, support. And notice if some part of you immediately starts making a list of why you do or don't deserve it. Or maybe it just comes in like that feeling of tightness in the chest, the solar plexus, or the heart. It's like it's an old accountant that's keeping records of your worth, how much you're given and how much you've worked and how much you've received and how much you've sacrificed. And maybe just for this moment, we can close that book and just let ourselves feel and hear that our worth doesn't need another calculation. We don't need to balance any equation before something good can reach us. We can let our shoulders drop and our hands soften and let ourselves experience what it feels like to not immediately reach back with some sort of repayment. Receive this breath. Receive this moment. Receive the support beneath your body. And maybe just that is enough practice for today. Not receiving everything or becoming infinitely abundant in this moment or this day, but just letting one good thing reach you without turning it into feeling like it's a debt. One more slow breath. I don't have to earn this breath. I don't have to earn this moment. I don't have to earn my worth. I can let myself be supported. I can let myself have. I can let myself receive. And notice what happened when you stopped trying to convince yourself you were worthy and started questioning why worth was ever something you had to earn. Where does that feel softer? Where does that still feel maybe tender? We don't need to change any of this right now. We just are giving ourselves another experience of receiving without proving. And if you notice that receiving brings up some discomfort later, that doesn't mean that you've gone backward. We just want to notice that old calculation. Notice that urge to earn or prove or repay or reject. And remember that you don't have to fight it. Just recognize it and soften around it. And practice letting one good thing reach you. And that's enough medicine for today.